voodoo in Ireland.
Your eyes. They've seen things.
According to the edict of this land, let us begin.
Imagine discovering a plot hole so massive it collapses a possible entire universe. Let's dissect the scene that broke the internet. The movie opens with a man named Thomas returning home, only to hear shocking news. His sister has been kidnapped. She sends a letter to their father, saying that if he wants to see her alive, he must come to a remote island and pay the price for her freedom. Otherwise, her captors will kill her. Determined to save his sister, Thomas sets out on a journey. After traveling by train, he arrives at the coast, where he must take a boat to reach the island. But before boarding, he notices that his ticket is different from the others. Suspicious, he cleverly switches it with another man's ticket. On the boat, he notices that the man whose ticket he took now has a cross marked on his luggage. When the boat reaches the island the next morning, Thomas watches as that man is taken away by force. All newcomers are welcomed, and each is given an empty bottle. At his assigned room, Thomas finds a book written by the island's leader, Malcolm, who claims to be an angel and calls himself the father of the island. The island is a refuge for people fleeing the government for crimes or other reasons. The next day, Thomas meets the island's doctor, who happens to be Malcolm's daughter. He sees some men dragging away the man whose ticket he switched. The man looks tortured. Later, at the church where the islanders gather, Malcolm tells a story about how he and two friends, both former criminals, escaped prison and settled on this island, eventually turning it into a self-sustaining paradise. He says their God not only saved them, but recognized him as an angel. He promises the people a tax-free, peaceful life with complete freedom. As this speech continues, Thomas sees a mysterious woman outside the church. Strangely, no one else sees her. But then Malcolm sees her too and notices Thomas watching her. Meanwhile, the captors realize they've taken the wrong man. He has no money, which enrages them. They now suspect that the real man who came for the kidnapped girl, Thomas, is hiding among them. So they kill the man they wrongly captured. There's also a hidden romance on the island between Jeremy, the son of one of Malcolm's allies, and the daughter of another. That night, while wandering, Thomas notices that newcomers are filling their bottles with blood. He also spies on Malcolm using a secret tunnel beneath his house. Back in his room, Thomas sees blood-filled bottles placed outside every door. He uses blood from another bottle to fill his own and places it outside. As he enters his room, a key injury causes him to bleed, and a terrifying woman appears to lick the blood off the floor. Thomas tears a page from Malcolm's book and draws a map on it. We then see a creepy house in the woods, where Malcolm exits from the other side of the secret tunnel. A monstrous servant guards this house. The next day, Jeremy brings Thomas to work and thanks him for keeping the romance a secret. After some prodding and a bit of force, Jeremy reveals that a month ago, Malcolm and his allies kidnapped Thomas's sister to extort money from their father because the island is struggling. Crops are dying, animals aren't reproducing, and the islanders are starving. Malcolm plans to fix this by securing funds through ransom. Thomas tells Jeremy that if he wants their secret romance to stay hidden, he must help him. Jeremy agrees. Meanwhile, Malcolm gathers all the newcomers at the church to identify the man who came to rescue the girl. He expects everyone to recite parts of his book by heart, a strict island rule. Just before Thomas's turn, someone attacks Malcolm. The attacker was sent by the king, who wants control of the island. Thomas saves Malcolm's life, but gets injured in the process. Out of gratitude, Malcolm promises eternal loyalty to Thomas. But Malcolm and his allies continue their hunt for the rescuer. That night, they publicly accuse Thomas's sister of being a royal agent and threaten to kill her if her accomplice doesn't come forward. Though terrified, Thomas doesn't reveal himself, and the plan fails. The next morning, Thomas's sister is chained, and children tease her. Malcolm's daughter arrives, scolds the children, and brings her food. Malcolm and his ally plan a festival that night, during which they'll search everyone's homes for the ransom money. While the festival distracts the crowd, Thomas sneaks into Malcolm's house with Jeremy's help. Meanwhile, Malcolm and his friend discover the map Thomas drew, confirming he's hiding inside the house. Malcolm instructs Jeremy's father to search his home. When he arrives and finds Jeremy there, he realizes his son is helping Thomas and drives him away. Malcolm and his friend arrive just after. Malcolm's friend enters the tunnel to find Thomas, while Malcolm's daughter secretly watches. Thomas, now trapped, hides in a blood-filled drain in the tunnel. There, the horrifying woman, the blood drinker, appears again. Thomas barely escapes and finds himself in another part of the tunnel, where he discovers symbols linked to the island's supposed god. Malcolm, meanwhile, reaches the house in the woods and confronts the imprisoned goddess, angry that she revealed herself to Thomas. He demands she stop poisoning the crops or she'll starve. When he offers her his blood, plants begin blooming again. Just then, Malcolm's monstrous servant brings Thomas's sister in a sack and hangs her up. Thomas spends the night in the tunnel. In the morning, Malcolm's daughter secretly visits him and offers help. Thomas is confused. Why would the daughter of his enemy help him? She insists her father isn't a killer, but Thomas tells her the truth. Malcolm is a fraud who kidnapped his sister. Now sympathetic, she hides Thomas's sister in a dead crop field where no one would look. Meanwhile, Malcolm's ally flees the island, preparing a boat. He tells Malcolm he's done and taking Jeremy with him. Malcolm insists they built the island together and begs him not to leave. Elsewhere, Jeremy visits his girlfriend and learns she's pregnant. He steps outside to get something for her, but her father shows up and, discovering the pregnancy, kills her. Enraged, Jeremy attacks his father. The father runs out, screaming that Jeremy is a murderer and must be purified. Guards refuse to act without Malcolm's command, but the father declares himself the true leader. Jeremy flees to the crop fields where Malcolm's daughter hides. Guards follow and capture him. Thomas also tries to help, but is caught too. Malcolm's daughter pleads for Jeremy's life, but he is executed under the guise of purification. Thomas is captured, and Jeremy's father claims leadership in front of everyone. He tries to make Malcolm look weak and tells him to prove himself by killing Thomas. As Malcolm approaches, his daughter intervenes, but Malcolm insists that Thomas must die. Before he can act, a gunshot rings out. Jeremy's father shoots Malcolm and runs off to kill the goddess. Thomas breaks free, charges into the woods, and reaches the house, where he finds the servant has already killed Jeremy's father. Before dying, the man tells Thomas to burn everything down. Thomas climbs into the house as the servant prepares to kill him. Malcolm and his ally arrive just in time, and when the ally tries to kill the servant, Malcolm stops him. Only to be shot and fall into the tunnel, the ally assumes Malcolm is dead, but the final battle is just beginning. Agree? Disagree? Let's start a comment civil war. And if you're obsessed with hidden movie secrets, smash that bell. Our next video might ruin your childhood. Thanks for watching.